Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. It's Women's Tour episode 29. We're at the Tour of Valencia, 3 stages. It's stage 1. This is the punchy stage, but it's really less punchy and more about surviving as a climber. Now, the pace has been just high enough to not allow for any or very, very little recovery. We had that category 1 climb, which we're going to hit that same climb here shortly. Did a lot of damage, split the field in half. A few riders just made it on but never recovered. And then there was that other little intermediate climb about a third of the way between there and hitting this climb again. And that just destroyed most of the riders that had just latched back on. And that was it. They were done. So we're down to 4 riders in the peloton. Brookshire is one of those who just made it back on, but didn't end up getting dropped that second time around. You can see she's quickly getting dropped now. Her really only purpose over the last 80 kilometers was she got water for us. So Mama Lenti, Donadin, Vanderpeet at the front, surviving well. We're up against some big teams for this race, so this is not just a little continental race. And we'll see what those two can do, Vanderpeet and Donadin in particular. We'll see what they can do against some tougher competition. We'll see what Peloton is getting smaller and smaller here, already down to 60. Brookshire is long gone. And you can see just droves of riders that have been left in the dust. But meanwhile, these 3 hanging on well at the front, going over the top. There's plenty of stage still to go after this, 18 kilometers. Mama Lenti only just making it, but does make it over the top. One more climb, but it's not much of one. And then a pretty decent descent, and then a slight uphill finish going flat in the last kilometer or so. So just 48 riders here, having 3 helps, but none of them are sprinters, so that doesn't help. Donadin's a little bit faster.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
So Mama Lenti will lead out Vanderpeet, who will lead out Donadin, and that'll be our go. And with somebody riding clear now, and the amount of time left, I think it's time to get a move on here. Donadin full strength. Vanderpeet is close. Mama Lenti actually recovered a bit on that descent. Let the stronger teams do the proper response. And meanwhile, we will set ourselves up for the finish, and this is where we want to accelerate because it's going to be the downhill section. We want to get out front for this part.
There are just 5
fight to
kilometers
stay
left.
out front. 55 riders duking it out for the finish, but I think we're in one of those stronger positions, but without a sprinter, I don't think we're going to win. I don't think we're necessarily going to challenge the top 3, but there we go. Mama Lenti does the work. Vanderpeet going a little early here on the full sprint. Not yet, not yet.
And the final
Inside the last kilometer for Donadin. You can see only a few riders really competing near the top. We might hang on to the top 3, but Gariva is flying up on us and beats us to the line. Bugard takes the win. Donadin just missing a podium position. 4th place.
We're waiting for the back markers who
Had
appear
it,
to be
but
fairly
a much
numerous in
faster
this
rider
difficult
in
race.
Gariva was coming along and just nipped us to the line. We're on to stage number 2, and it's going to be a very big test for us as there's a lot of climbing to come. 4 moderate climbs and 1 massive climb at the end. And like I said, we are up against much bigger teams than what we're normally facing off with. So we're just on the first climb, and Red Bar at least, Mucci, Shear, Brookshire, all struggling and sliding backwards. Peloton, just 6 riders dropped, a little bit more as they kind of go over the top and settle down, but We struggled through that a bit, and they'll recover for the next climb, but those three at least won't be around too long. They are just much too weak, even if they are among some of our better climbers on the team. Compared to the field that we're in, they're quite weak. Fairly large breakaway, but only a minute and a half's gap for them, so they're probably not going to contend. Vanderpeet caught behind a slow-moving rider, and she goes very far backwards. Up.
There's an attack in the group at the
Jeez,
front.
we need to up all
Some
of them.
team managers
Stop.
mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
Donatin too caught behind a slow-moving rider, and the whole team just went backwards through that climb. That was scary. That was quite scary. Another group of riders dropped from the break, 5 and a few more off of the peloton itself, so we're down to 92. Looks like we'll pick up those 5 from the break here fairly soon. This next climb's gonna be fairly decisive. Category 1, and if that amount of damage has been done over 2 Category 3 climbs, imagine what's gonna happen when we go over a Category 1. We do need to get water one time before the end of the stage, and I think we're gonna have to do it over the top of this climb with maybe Mama Lenti.
We're already at the halfway stage.
We recover our position, but we do not recover our energy. Vanderpeet and Donadin, they do. They're fine. Mama Lenti, mostly okay. But Miucci, Shear, Brookshire, they need to gel up. Miucci as well. I don't think those 3 are going to be around at the top of this climb. I don't think they'll be around halfway up this climb.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
Another acceleration, so we'll go 83 to try to hold our position a little bit, but we don't want to burn too much energy. We want to stick around. And yes, as predicted, even Miucci is struggling. Shears out the back.
The escapees have surrendered. The pack
Brookshire's
gave them
out
no
the back.
chance.
Breakaway's done. Miucci hanging on at the back, just about climbing fast enough, but there's the spread, there's the acceleration, and there she is out the back. Mama Lenti fading a little bit, but hanging on. She'll be okay at that pace.
There's an attack in the leading group.
Unless the pace picks up some more, and then she'll have to respond. Down to 52. New breakaway has formed.
The breakaway and the pack. You see that? You can read the pain on
big
the
split.
faces at the back of the peloton.
Big
There's a
split.
growing number
I
of
think it's coming
riders
back
left
together, and it
behind.
does.
We're into the downhill
Some
section.
of it came
the
back
riders can
together.
take a
Mama
breather, but
Lenti
they can't let
included
their
in
guard
the
drop.
sum. She'll get the water for us. It's just 24 in the group at the moment. They're 6 behind, and they're not far. But then the gaps do start to open after that, so that this really could be kind of a final group. Mama Lenti and into protection duty on Vanderpeet. Vanderpeet's almost fully recovered. Donadin will be recovered soon. Still gentle downhill slope most of the way until the base of the next climb. Minute 10 to the front rider. Those 3 all solo. They won't hang on for long. Not like that. Now it's just 1 rider left off the front. We pull in those other 2 to make it 26, and the 6 never did make contact again. Now an 83 is probably not quite enough. Well, it wasn't for Mama Lenti. We'll go 84. Just that little bit more. Down to 23 already. We caught the front rider. We've lost. We continue to lose. We're down to 20 in the group. Mama Lenti is almost done. It's a little late for her gel. And this group's going to be smaller than this by the time we go over the top. Down to 15.
Watch out! A team leader is falling behind.
Donadin is not going to cover yet. I'm going to wait. Down to 13. I'm going to allow both of them to recover separately, but then Donadin will protect Vanderpeet as we go into the final climb. Group of 13, and we've got 2 of them.
15 kilometers
Speaking of Vanderpeet and Donadin, we can start saying our goodbyes. It's early May, so that means we just had our first dossier period. Neither of them have interest in rejoining the team. They're both in the 0 to 15% range. Vanderpeet is set for what do you call
10
it?
kilometers to the finish line.
Down to
It's
11.
in such percentages that the
Thought we were
strongest
seeing
can
an
create
attack.
some gaps.
Not quite. Vanderpeet was looking for 70 points. We only get 60 in the entire period, so we'll never even be able to approach Vanderpeet with a contract, regardless of amount. Donadin's a little bit better off on that, but at 40 something points, that would be everything we could potentially do. So we are beginning to say our farewells. That's unfortunate, but that's what it's going to be. Okay, Donadin, we are responding gently. Now, this is not like previous races where we were chasing down some weaker riders. This is 4 riders going clear and going quite strong. But really not that bad other than Stigger. Okay, we're going to gel up now. I'm going to try to bridge the gap and not take all these riders with me, so Vanderpeet. Okay, now just gently from here, we did split. If that's Stigger, that is. Okay, we've now ridden up into second place, and we're going to leave them behind. But now we need to set a tempo that can get us. Stigger's so strong. A 77, 70 resistance. We have better resistance. And today we have a 77, but that doesn't mean we're going to be better than Stigger. Keep an eye on the time. It's at 50 seconds. And at 77, we seem to be holding this tempo and opening the gap behind us. We're going to back off just slightly more because our energy is slowly fading.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
Down to 3K. And we're out of energy. We were within 50 seconds, 2.5 minutes behind us. It's going to be hard for anyone to catch us, but there's no way we're catching Stigger now. So we're just cruising for second place, which is a fantastic result if we can hang on to it. And it looks like we will comfortably. 2 minutes down, 2 minutes ahead. Second place with Floor Vanderpeet, 19-year-old climber who is leaving us for a bigger team very soon. Donadin took 7th. Malenti will hang on to a top 20. Take 18th. We're in a good position here. I mean, obviously, we're on the podium. Laura Stigger is going to win this thing comfortably, but Vanderpeet will comfortably be in second. Stage 3 of 3. Based on the profile, I think we should be cruising towards that second place in the overall. We do have a chance at picking up either the KOM, I think that's what it is, the KOM classification as well. So one thing to keep in mind, there's a huge breakaway though, so we're not going to be picking up any points on that one. Most likely, unless right at the end you see Vanderpeet has a very small lead. This is a tough climb. It's a fun climb, but it's definitely a tough one. So we're down to 45k, so this is actually already late enough to send somebody back. Miucci does not have enough energy. Let's go ahead and send Brookshire instead to get some water, and then we're already starting to see the first splits. We also need to up our effort if that's going to be the case. Brookshire has been dropped, at least temporarily. Let's make sure she gets back in check. Oh, Donadin, what are you doing way back there?
This is the last third of the race. The team leaders have their minds fixed on today's goal.
Mamalenti's going to have a rough day with a -4, so we need to up her effort. But, yeah, Brookshire. Went to get water. Where'd you go? Went and joined the group behind you. Somebody back there had some water bottles that they didn't need anymore because they were getting dropped. They're like, here, I'll collect these from you. No soigneur on the side. Okay, well, she's back in contact and made it through the climb to do so. Breakaway's already shrunk down to 14 riders and their gap down to 1 minute. That happened quite quickly. You can see this group is very, very strung out. Donadin still has not recovered her position. A full climb, a full lap later, but finally starting to get back up there. Vanderpeet was comfortable, which is nice.
Holy
Wearing
cow,
that
that was
KOM.
a fall.
Sitting
The
second
breakaway is
overall.
not to
There's
everybody's
Brookshire.
liking. The peloton has
She
significantly
survives
increased its speed.
this climb. Will help her navigate her way through some fading riders. She's outlasting Miyuchi, and looks like Sheer. Quite a few laps still to go. There's 4 more climbs after this one. Finishes on the descent. I've won on this course quite a few times. I've come close quite a few times. But I've also had a couple disappointing ones. So it hasn't all been successes here. Mixed bag. Okay, Miyuchi out the back, and the peloton's down to 64. Brookshire's right there, but also out of energy, and this is going to be it. I mean, if she doesn't do it right now, she's done. And she did it. She made it, because she's about to go backwards. So is Sheer.
The pace is
Go ahead and
really
use up
hot, so
Bagel.
for the moment, we shouldn't see too many attacks.
Brookshire, well done. You know, besides that whole first bit where she went from the back of the peloton to, I'm going to go join another group instead. Okay, Sheer also, farewell. Okay, Mamalenti, you're going to protect our leader, Vanderpeet, even though Donadin on a punchy stage like this might have a better chance. We're riding for second in the GC. That's more important than going for a stage right now.
The escapees
Donadin, for
have
whatever reason,
surrendered.
is still
The pack
struggling
gave
to
them
kind
no
of hold
chance.
a front position. I don't know why she doesn't. Why she's allergic to the front in this race. Let's go ahead and try to reestablish a position that she's going to hold up near Vanderpeet. 3 laps to go. Mamalenti was definitely quite a ways back as
The
well.
peloton
There's
has
no
definitely
breakaway now.
accelerated, meaning that an attack is highly unlikely.
I'm not sure how it is we're wearing the number 1. There's no way we won this race last year.
Those guys up front aren't going to be making too many friends today.
Okay, approaching the top. No damage done this time. Two laps to go. Okay, 10 riders were dropped, so there was some damage done. Vanderpeet still looking really good. Donadin slightly
15 kilometers
tired.
to the
And
finish line.
Mamalenti, this is going to be it for her. This one's too hard to go from two laps out. You got to do it on the last lap. You also need to still be there. And they're both hurting a little bit, so let's... Oh my goodness! Donadin, what's your malfunction today? She is really not climbing well today at all. Down to 48. There goes Mamalenti. Saving our energy for the final climb. However, starting this far back is less than ideal. Donadin, I don't know what the heck happened to her today. 37 left in the peloton, and Donadin is in the last 10. She's going to start her forward movement now at a 90. with a gel.
There are just 10
And
kilometers
as
left.
she passes Vanderpeet, we will get her in tow. And come on, you have not even moved forward half a bike length yet. Come on, Donadin. You're really letting me down today. You're having the worst day I've seen you have, and this is where we should be on the attack, and yet you're just now coming forward. Alright, attacking over the top,
Only 5 kilometers
downhill.
left.
Vanderpeet set for a run-in on the finish. Just 22 remain as we go over the top. 21. 3.4K. Donadin attacking the descent. Now it's 10 riders, 8 riders with a little gap. Sprint it out, Donadin, and sprint it out, Vanderpeet. Oh, come on, Vanderpeet. Why'd you sit up? Why did she sit up? She could have had third.
Fabulous! He got the better of his breakaway companions to win this race.
She could have had third if she didn't sit up there. So we end up with 5th and 6th on the stage in that small group of 8. Stigger was 12th, so Stigger actually lost half a minute, but was two and a quarter minutes ahead, so she'll hang on for the win. But yeah, Vanderpeet riding behind Donadin, starts her sprint, pulls up beside Donadin, sits up and is like, "Hey, thanks for your work. Appreciate
and here are
it."
a few of the key moments.
And then, oh, right, I'm supposed to be sprinting. Yeah, she certainly wouldn't have won. Those top two were too strong, but she absolutely had a chance at third. I mean, she was 2 bike lengths down, and that was entirely from sitting up. That's plenty long enough for 2 bike lengths. 28-second advantage, so she ends up finishing 1:51 in 2nd place overall. Donadin finishes 7th. All in all, that is a very good race. Random rider picks up a ton of points today, but we do keep the KOM. 3rd in the points. 2nd in the under 25s, even though we were 2nd in the GC. But we do get the team classification by a comfortable 2 minutes. So at least we got that. Kenya Schramm crushing it at the World Tour. We are 11th in the Continental rankings, despite being a Continental team. We're only 5 points out of the top 10. And in the Super Prestige, 1140. Almost double our points from last season. Almost double. And that was the final tally at the end of the year. Now, of course, our calendar is so much busier this year than it was last year. And obviously way busier than the year before. But still, this is in far fewer races. I mean, we've got to be hitting maybe the number of races we had last season, approaching that by now, even though we're only about halfway through the year itself. But that's a huge jump. So yes, things are going well. My expectation wise, kind of in my heart, I'm like, oh yeah, we should be getting results consistently now. Results don't necessarily mean winning every race, does it? Especially when we're playing on the hardest difficulty. So getting results, nice. Next season, oh come on. By the way, so it's terrible news that we are losing our top 2 riders. But now that we've ripped that Band-Aid off, here's the glasses half full optimism. Our team reputation is building. Okay, those top riders, it was all 90s in the previous seasons, and you only end up with 60 points max. So we couldn't even attempt to sign a single rider, which is our problem with Vanderpeet. She's beyond what we can do. And it's still bad, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's still very bad. But the most was 80. So we have finally built a reputation a little bit, inching our way along. We went from 0 rep we finally have a rep. It's just a very small rep. So team reputation is just inching its way up. It's finally coming along. I thought we were headed for Continental Pro with Vanderpeet and Donaden leading the way. I'm not so sure about that now. It looks like maybe, just maybe, we're going to have to spend another year in Continental because whatever signings we're going to get, it looks like we might get some 73s, a 71. Either way, it's going to be a step back. We're losing those 2 top riders, but we might be able to get into the low 70s now, or at least upper 60s. We're signing a better batch of riders than we've been able to sign in the past. We had 2 riders that have developed well, just 2, over these last 2 seasons. Hopefully we can find some more similar that are like that. Scouting department going crazy, trying to find something, and we'll see what we can do. Sponsor confidence taking a little boost. We were just inside the blue. It's above that. Of course, we haven't proceeded a day, so it'll reset and come back down a little bit. But either way, sponsor is happy that we just got a podium in the Valencia race. So little bonuses, little perks, more money means we can overspend, but it's more about having points to sign. So that reputation right now matters way more. And the fact that it's going up, even if only at a little bit, is a good sign. It's a start. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.